scientifically so you can grasp this because you can change your life with it, okay, basically. So let's do the scientific approach. I made notes on the live. Let's do it. All right, I'm Junior from Here For You Life Coaching. All right, so a lot of people, ask me like about my credentials and things for life coaching. And I always tell them God is real, right? Because that's where I come from. So I come from God is real. Okay, so we're giving a second for our Instagram followers. There we are. Okay, sorry, this is getting more complicated. We're having a lot of other people join our lives. Okay, here we go. So I made notes today. So today we're going to talk about the subconscious, and we're going to talk about manifestation because it's all subconscious. Okay, that's the part you need to know. Okay, but there's two different types of explanations about this. Now, scientific minds do not accept the superconscious, okay, or God, because God is not solid science, okay, because it can't be proven. It's something that we believe in that's not there. It's something that we feel that's not there, that we can't prove it's there, okay. But here's the thing, right? I believe in God because I've seen things happen, and I have prayed and things have happened. I have written my affirmations and things have happened, and I've applied the subconscious principles and things have happened. So in my experience, if I've done all of those things and they've happened, for me, it's real. Okay. So let me just read the scientific part of it. Okay. So affirmations, right? We always say, affirmations. Okay. The science of self-talk. Okay. And neural mechanisms, basically in science. Now I made notes, so I'm reading my notes. Um, so now we say positive thoughts attract positive energy, right? Or good attracts good, right? Because good cannot attract bad, and vice versa. Okay, well, the scientific part of it is self affirmation theory, according to Claude Steele. Okay, this is a scientific community. Okay, scientifically proven psychological intervention that helps maintain psychological integrity when facing threats to self concept. Okay, what is that talking about? Okay, well, what they're talking about is science is only concerned with what can be proven. Okay, so neural activation can be proven, neuroscience. Okay, and neural activation, okay, shows us that there's studies that show affirmations activate the brain's reward system. Okay, so we're talking about the ventral striatum. uh, and yeah, I know, like I'm kind of giving too much information here, but just know that this is the prefrontal cortex, okay, over here, okay, the prefrontal cortex of the brain. Now that's the thinking machine that you have, okay. The your prefrontal cortex, it thinks 80,000 thoughts a day. Out of those 80,000 thoughts, your predominant thoughts go into your subconscious. Okay, this is neuroscience. This is proven. This is the science part of it. Okay, um, but the research shows us that affirmations, if we teach it scientifically, then we're talking about neuroplasticity enhancement. Ooh, whoa, what does that mean, Uncle? Well, neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to form new neural pathways. Okay, so let's say, for example, you're writing an affirmation. Okay, no problem, Kurt. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Yeah, search that information, Kurt, and then get back to me with questions, and I can answer your questions. Yeah, no problem. So anyway, so neural pathways are formed when you start doing will automatically create new neural pathways. And that's what neuroplasticity is. Now, neuroplasticity enhancement is what they say happens when you do affirmations. So it enhances new pathways in the brain. Okay. And this is okay, so scientific community is a little bit more picky. Cognitive restructuring is what it's called in science. Okay, so this helps reframe limiting beliefs, right? What do I say? I say reframe, refocus. So this says helps reframe limiting beliefs. I'm reading it by the book for you guys, okay? The engaging the prefrontal cortex is executive functions. Executive functions. What are executive functions? Okay, that's your thought processes. Okay, so now your stress response regulation. Okay, stress response regulation. How do you control stress? How do you respond to stress? What are your triggers? Okay, positive self statements activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, And I don't know how much of this you guys need. You could do the research, but so this provides a reduction in cortisol, the fight or flight hormone. Okay, cortisol, stress hormones. So when you're stressed, right, cortisol is like, ugh, it's not a good thing to have. Okay, but it's necessary for certain activities. Okay, it's necessary for certain types of motivation. Okay, but it was a major challenge. The H in ADHD is hyper. Okay, so anyway, so now and then it talks about the implementation. Okay, I'm not going to go through like everything. You guys can do the research, but I will provide you with the research if you want the science. Um, my explanation does not necessarily jive with science because I say that God is real. Okay, and I say that there is this entity that we can call God. Okay, it's super conscious, insert belief system here. I'm not here to tell you what to believe in. But when you do, and when you go, oh yeah, okay, I see the results. Okay. So because God lives in here, according to me. According to science, God doesn't live in here. Okay. But yeah, that's just my belief. Okay. But the implementation, okay, use specific, believable present tense statements based on actual strengths and values. Okay, so this is logic. So do. Okay, that's what they're saying. All right, so and then it goes on, talks about meditation and vocalization. That I'm not going to read any further into that, but I will provide you with the research. So just email me, junior@hereforyoulifecoaching.com, or you can message me on all of these platforms. It's crazy. We got a camera over there. We got a camera over here. We got a camera down here. We got a camera over there. So we're on 6 platforms every morning. But I will send it to you. Okay, just provide me an email, or if you're DM me or message me or whatever, I'll put it in your inbox. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about this and about how to do it and how you can easily accomplish anything. Okay, affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Why? Because when you write it, where's my pen? There we go. So when you write an affirmation, I am so happy and grateful now that I'm confident, thank you. Okay? What it does is it goes into your subconscious because you're writing. Okay? A lot of people are teaching, convenience, right? You text it into your phone, or you type it with your phone, or you type it in your keyboard on your laptop or on your desktop. That's not going to do it. You need to write it by hand. They're not teaching the kids to write these days. Okay? They're not teaching them handwriting or cursive. You don't really need cursive, but handwriting. They're not focusing on handwriting anymore. This is disempowering our children. This is taking power away from our children. Okay, there's a disconnect here. Okay, I'm just saying. So teach your children to write. Teach them to write their affirmations or write down their goals. It's the same thing. Goals, affirmations, meditation. Okay, for our purposes, we say that you're the energy in here, the energy that lives in here. You're not your body, you're not your name, you're that energy. So, what do you want to do? You want to close your distractors, okay, so that you can't be distracted visually, and you want to sit still for 10 minutes a day. Okay, try this. Okay, I did a 30-minute meditation this morning. Okay, and I did it at 3 o'clock in the morning. I can do it, especially at my age, okay? Which is probably a lot older than many of you. You can do it, okay? So don't look at age as something like, oh, well, I'm old now, I cannot do it. No, that's bananas. You can do it, okay? I learned all of this stuff in 2007. Okay, by 2010, we crossed the $1 million mark in my entertainment business. And it didn't really have to do with my training. It didn't have to do with this training too much, although from 2000, how it was going to happen when I applied these principles, okay? Because the how is God's job. But I will tell you that things will accelerate. Things will happen a little faster when you do these things. So when you are clear, okay, when you achieve clarity by sitting still for 10 minutes, it does your brain. So everything in the human brain, the human mind, okay, has to start small and then grow. Okay, it's like anything else in life, okay? You cannot plant a seed in the ground and tomorrow when you come back, you see the seedling already. You can't do that. You have to wait. You have to have patience. So you have to grow everything, okay? But I'm here to tell you that it's more than possible, okay? It's a reality. Scientifically, yeah, you can't talk about God and science in the same sentence. You know, the macrocosm. What does that mean? You're the smaller unit of energy versus the bigger unit of energy that we call God, okay? Or source, or universe, okay? You put the label there, okay? We're gonna give it one generic label, okay? Superconscious, conscious, subconscious, superconscious, all right? Because I want to dispel all the mystique around this stuff. Okay, there's no demons involved with manifestations, unless, of course, you're praying to demons. If you want to pray to demons, fine. They were in human bodies. And they were demons, but they were in human bodies, okay? So, but you have the ability, okay? I'm not here to preach morals. I'm not here to tell you to do good stuff or bad stuff. I'm here to tell you how this works. And when you dropped out of college and I achieved all kinds of stuff, and people were like, whoa, uncle, how did you do that? You know, college is for specific things. Okay, so when I dropped out of college, my mentor said, dude, that's the best thing you ever did. And I was like, what? Because I felt ashamed. You know, when I dropped out of college, I was like, I dropped out of college. You know, in one respect, I thought I failed. It was a challenge for me. It was an opportunity, and I never regret it because that opportunity turned into, you know, the next opportunity, or let's say was the launching pad for me for the next opportunity that just blew up my brand. So, you know, I'm like, yeah, when I look back, right, everything was meant to be. So look back on your life. High stress jobs, okay, they supervise a lot of people. They deal with a lot of challenges, okay, and a lot of stress. I relieve their stress through their voice. Okay, number one, that's the vocalization part. Okay, affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. I teach them the visualization, how to visualize yourself there, how to visualize yourself, how to like yourself, how to love yourself, how to accept yourself. Because if you can't do that, everything out here is harder, okay? But everything out here is a reflection of everything in here. So if you start here, in here, everything out here is better. Everything out here goes faster. Everything out here is like clockwork because you organize it in here first, and then out here is automatic, okay? So what I tell my professionals, right, what I tell them is that they have to visualize the best possible. You have to be still because that intuition will come and tell you who you are, okay? The reason why people don't know who they are, or they have problems figuring out who they really are, is because you're told all this stuff on the outside, right? You're told stuff through advertising. You're told stuff through television, through social media. You're told what you are. You're told to show you that you're independent of all of that. You're independent of everything. You're the energy that lives in here. This energy does not belong to anything other than God, or however you believe, okay? But that's what this is. This is independent of the body, okay? And in religion, only the body sins because the body is physical, right? You have hands, right? You have a body. The body is your anchor into the physical matrix or into the physical world, okay? And I know there's all kinds, okay? But let's just call it the system. There is a system. Now, you can serve the system or you can serve God. You can serve the body or the spirit. There's a separation between the two. Okay, but the reason I say this and the reason I'm so adamant about in here, the energy in here, is because when you go for this first, when you understand this first, when you practice this first, when you really get into what's in here first, everything out here falls into place. And it was the same thing for my executives. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a real manifestation story. Okay, so I think 7 or 8 months, something like that. And her thing was she had chest pain. She had such an intense job. She was a very high, what I call a high-powered attorney. Okay, and she was tops in her field, very tops in her field. A lot of people have anxiety, or more than they should, more than their share. Okay, but her anxiety went here, okay? And every time she would talk to me about work and stuff, if it was a really stressful thought, she would go like this, right? And of course, I know how to observe. And so I said, well, I know your problem. Your problem is you're directing everything here. You see? Okay? Body language is a thing. And so she started doing that. And then I was like, okay, well, let's address that. So we got rid of her chest pain through her voice, expression. Okay? Expressing straight tones, or just tones, if you want to call it tones, um, with a lot of velocity or strength. Okay? A lot of strength. We got rid of that in like a couple of months. I think it took about 3 months actually to get rid of her chest pain. Now we got rid of her chest pain. Okay, what was the key though? Well, the prison is here. The prison is in your mind. Okay, this is just a figurative gesture. Okay, but it's in your mind. So what did I have to do? I had to show her how to think about this whole thing in a different way. And when I showed her, she was like, oh, okay. And then she went on a little personal spiritual journey. Okay. And it ended up where she told me one day, she goes, wow, like before she left, she said, wow, I went on this walk and I did some meditating and I sat there and I felt that, I felt what I was supposed to do. And she wanted to build a business for herself. I don't know if she's going to do it or not, if she's going to continue with it or not. But I was trying to help her and help her get started. And the thing you have to really think about, whether you're starting a business, whether you're just trying to be more comfortable in life, whether you're trying to get rid of your anxiety, okay? Whether you're trying to get rid of stress, whatever it is that's bothering you, okay? Now, I'm not talking about serious medical things, okay? I'm not making any medical claims. But these things that bother you emotionally, okay, many of them can be remedied. But you have to start thinking about things in the right way, okay? Because when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It's perception. When you change your perception or how you're perceiving something, okay, it really matters for the outcomes. It really does. So like when you hear somebody say something, it gets your attention, right? And you go, wait a minute, like, how did he mean that? How did she mean that? And then you start observing. If you're patient and you kind of like tune into what they're saying, pretty soon, guess what? It starts to change, because then you go, oh, okay, now I get it, right? Because you paid attention for a while. Okay, so when this process is going on, when you are paying attention or close attention to something, you're trying to figure out what it is, when you're trying to figure it out, okay, ask yourself, what's the good part of this? What's the good part? Because if you ask what the good part is, the good part will reveal itself to you, because there's always good and bad. There's always yin and yang energy, okay? So everything has its polar opposite. Good and bad, dark and light, that kind of thing. So when you look at these things, right, if you look for the light, you'll find it. If you look for the dark, you'll find it. If you look for the good parts of people, you'll find it. When I go on a first date with a girl, I look for her beauty, and guess what? I always find it. I'll be sitting across the table from her or something, right? And I'll be listening to her talk, and I'll be observing, and I'll be asking myself, look, what's the beautiful part about this girl? And pretty soon I notice it will reveal itself. Sometimes, oh, she has a pretty smile, or sometimes, oh, she has a pretty glow in her eyes. Or like, wow, her voice is really sweet. Or her gesturing, the way she gestures is really cute. Now, if I were to sit across from somebody on a first date and go, all right, what's wrong with this girl? Those things will pop up. Okay, so here's a little advice to the ladies out there. Okay, ladies, when you're on a first date, because I've encountered this many, many times, okay, don't say anything about the negative qualities that you think you have. Okay, because there was this girl one time, she goes, I don't like my nose. I didn't think anything was wrong with her nose, but because she said that, the rest of the date, my attention went where? To her nose. Okay. And because I was asking myself, like, okay, well, what's wrong with her nose? What's wrong with her? So don't point out your flaws, ladies, because men are visual. Okay. So this is just a little side stuff. Artemis, good morning. Good day. Are you ready, T Angel? What? Okay, I gotta wait till that goes up a little. I have another camera over here on the side. So yeah, don't point out your flaws, ladies. Okay. So and gentlemen, be more considerate in your observing. Artemis, thank you so much. Thank you for coming by. Nice to see you again. Okay. So when you look for good things, you'll find it. Okay. When you look for good opportunities, you'll find it. Everything has a good or a positive and negative, good and bad. Okay. Look for the good stuff. Expect the good things. Okay. Now, don't get don't get this twisted. When I say expect good things, I'm not talking about expecting a certain outcome of things. Okay, those are two separate things. When you're expecting a good outcome or a certain outcome of something, you're saying, okay, I want this to turn out this way. And here's why that's not good. That's not good because if you leave it to God or source or universe or however you believe, right? If you leave it, you'll probably get a better result than you could imagine because God can imagine better than you, because source can imagine better than you. Okay? So don't try to dictate the outcomes. Okay? Because if you place your desires specifically on a specific outcome, it will start to happen your way and it may be limited. It may not be as good. So be open. Okay, the solution is to be open. Be open. Your question is, are you ready? Wait, let me see. Yeah, I can't do that. I have to wait until this comes up. Artemis, hang on a sec. Uh, I have another camera here, that's why. And in order to read your comment, I have to um, totally leave out the people on YouTube. So let me see. All right. So Artemis has a question over there. But anyway, so when you look at outcomes, okay, be open because God can imagine an outcome better than you. Or let's say the superconscious. Okay, so there's conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. So the conscious mind picks the subject matter. Okay, whatever it is, whatever you're trying to manifest. Okay, so manifestation is subconscious. I want to take out all the mystique about it. Okay, there's nothing mysterious. My question is, are you ready to angel invent today? Something is telling me yes today. Oh, maybe for you, but not for me, Artemis. No. So that's a no for me. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, you can ask people in the chat. Maybe you can get some customers there. All right. So we're talking. We started out talking today about scientific explanations on manifestation. Okay, and we started out with that, and then I got too involved, and so I will send you the research if you want it. Let me know. It's a full page of research. It's about affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization in the scientific form. Okay, so we will be passing that out to you if you want it. Okay, so now we also want to talk to you about emotions and why emotions are important for manifestation. It's very simple. Okay, none of this is rocket science. It's very, very simple. You have to be in a good mood when you ask. So the formula is ask, believe, receive. It's in the Bible. For you Christians, it's Mark 11:24. Okay, look it up. Ask, believe, receive. When you ask and you believe in your asking, you will receive. You have to believe in what you ask as well as it will come to you. Okay? And that's all you have to do. So, yesterday we were talking about, where's my, here. Yesterday we were talking about this. I have this whole bag of this lip balm that came from Japan, and I sent a picture of this to one of my clients, and they went to Japan, and I thought, I kind of thought she was going to get me a couple of these. She sent me like a whole lifetime supply. I think it's a year's supply. It's tons of them. Anyway, but so I didn't plan any of that. Okay, and I'm talking about abundance. Now, is that a coincidence that my subconscious has been conditioned for abundance and that I received abundance, right? Okay, it's not a coincidence. It's a mindset. Okay, so we're teaching mindset. We're teaching you how to think about abundance because that's all you need to do. It's not about witchcraft, it's not about magic spells, it's not about summoning demons, it's not about summoning angels, it's not about summoning God or the devil or anything. It's being a human being and it's choices. Okay? It's the choices you make. Now, when you condition your subconscious, you make better choices. Okay? When you take some time and you do affirmations, okay, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. Now, the vocalization is speaking the dream. When you speak it out loud, okay, you can speak things into existence. Okay, now, a scientist might tell you, oh no, that's impossible. Well, really? If you speak things, your subconscious takes it as a belief after a while. It starts looking for confirmation of it. Then you start producing you start producing actions conducive to it. And then guess what? You achieve it. Okay? I will debate any scientist, like any scientist. The only thing that's going to be different is there's a scientific explanation and there's, the more spiritual explanation. The only thing different between the two is science does not, oh, you purchased your affirmation notebook today. Oh, nice. Okay, Billy, don't use any negative words in your affirmations. That's my advice. Okay, but that's awesome, Billy. Congratulations. So, when you look at the two, scientific versus spiritual, okay, we cannot confirm that the universe has this effect. We cannot confirm that God exists to produce this effect. We cannot confirm that, whatever, superconscious. Okay, there is no superconscious. I had a talk with this psychologist, and he was my client. He was my client, but he was a psychologist. And he said, I've never heard of the superconscious. So just know that the superconscious is a spiritual term. Okay, so consciousness. Okay, and he goes, I've never heard of that. I'm like, oh. So I told him, well, in your case, I asked him, I said, do you believe in God? And he said, no. I'm like, okay, I respect that. I'm not here to tell people how to believe. You don't have to believe anything. You believe as you believe. Whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, either way, you're a believer. You're going to believe something. And you're going to believe whatever's in your subconscious. Okay, so for him, it wasn't God. And I'm like, okay, all right. He was more scientific. So I'm like, okay, then in your case, there's only the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Okay, so people that do not believe in God do not subscribe a lot to right brain activity. Okay, the creative brain, the right side. Okay, in the Bible, the journey of Moses is illustrating the migration from the left brain over to the right. Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father. You cast your net to the right side. All of those things. It's talking about the right hemisphere of your brain, esoterically. Okay, so esoteric knowledge is a little bit different. Esoteric knowledge is uncommon knowledge or background. It's really interesting. I saw in the news today that Egypt opened a museum that hasn't been open in years and years. And they have like these 6,000-year-old artifacts in there, right? So in the Bible says that we've only been around for 2,000 years, or 6,000 years. And so there's a 6,000-year existence, supposedly, from the Bible, right? Well, before that, right, we go back, science kind of goes back and back and back and back. And science kind of gives you a different picture, okay? And the picture that science gives you is that, whoa, like the planet's billions of years old, okay? I'm not here to say believe in one or the other. I'm just saying that you have to look at science as a religion of sorts, okay? It's a religion of sorts. So yesterday, remember when I was telling you yesterday, when you hold something in reverence, when you hold something high, when you hold a belief in something. Yesterday we were talking about money, right? So when you hold money high, like money is everything to you, okay? You're worshiping money. So in science, if you're totally into science, okay, if that's what you revere as being your, go-to or whatever, right? Your highest belief, because that's all you really want to believe in is science, then it's a religion for you. And that's what you believe in, right? Because you believe in things that can be proved and you don't believe in things that can't be proved or can't be proven. Okay. But if you talk to religious people, they will tell you, oh no, it exists. God exists. Why? Well, when I prayed for something, it happened. When I wrote affirmations, it happened. When I did my meditation, it happened. I felt it, right? So God is in here, right? So when you do these things, affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization, it sharpens your awareness. Okay, and that's really what connects us all is awareness in here. Okay, I'm aware, you're aware, right? But we have different levels of awareness. Some people are more aware than others. Why is that? Well, in my case, right, I would like to think I'm pretty aware of things. It's because I limit my distractions. Okay, and that's basically what it is. I mean, if I'm really being real with you guys, it's distractions, okay? So distractions are the eyes or the ears pulling us into another reality, okay? When you see something you really, really like, when you start getting obsessed with something, right, you start getting distracted into it, okay? So, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. I'm not saying that distraction is bad. I'm saying that's what happens. When you get distracted into something, just understand that you're liking it. And that's the reason why you're being distracted. When you're being distracted, you're being pulled away from something else. So when you're thinking new car, for example, you're getting pulled into the new car world, right? Now you're thinking about showrooms and, I better go look at these cars and those cars and whatever. Your reticular activating system in your brainstem starts showing you new cars, like a whole bunch of new cars. Why? Because you're thinking about new cars. That's the way the human being works. Well, that's the way the algorithm works. So when you're scrolling, right? You're scrolling, you're looking, you see stuff you like. Pretty soon the algorithm starts favoring your likes, right? It starts showing you what you're interested in. Then what happens in real life? Well, your reticular activating system in your brainstem takes over. So now you go from online or the virtual world to the physical world, right? Now you go in the physical world, guess what? Oh, you start seeing new cars. Oh, you start seeing them every place. Now it's no longer online, it's in the physical world. I bet you didn't know that happened. Okay, so what I'm really telling you is, it doesn't matter where you manifest from. You manifest no matter what. You don't have to believe in it. You don't have to think it's a thing. You don't have to, it's gonna happen. Okay? When you're influenced by so the key word is influenced. When you're influenced by something, you see it online. Okay, let's use online first. Okay, then the reticular activating system takes over for the physical world. Then you start seeing the duplicate here. Why? Because it's an interest in here. And because it's an interest in here that you found online, now your reticular activating system in your brainstem starts showing it to you in the physical world. And sometimes, right, if it's a bad thing, think about what it would be if it was a bad thing. And you see it online. And now it starts to show itself to you in the physical world. Well, if it's a bad thing, and you go to therapy, for example, or whatever, you're talking to somebody about your problem, for you, it's a serious, serious issue. Why? Well, it started over here online. It started on the scrolling. Then you got interested. Then it became a belief in your subconscious. Why? Because the subconscious, right, is formed by thoughts. A belief is a thought you keep thinking. Now you keep thinking about it. Your reticular activating system in your brain goes, okay, all right, because it cooperates with the subconscious. Subconscious starts pulling, right, information, confirmation, and starts showing it to you. The superconscious, or God, starts giving you intuitive thought about whatever the subject matter is. So now it starts innocently enough with something online, and it transfers to the real world. So if this is something that makes you depressed, okay, and for whatever reason, let's say the effect is depression. For whatever reason, you were attracted to it. Doesn't matter what the reason is. Your subconscious cannot distinguish from fantasy or reality. Now it has already taken root in the subconscious. Now your reticular activating system in your brainstem shows it to you in the physical world. Now something that started out virtually has manifested itself in the physical world. First it manifests online, right? Because you can just like it, the algorithm will just keep showing it to you. But now in the physical world, it's your reticular activating system. Look it up, it's called RAS. Okay, it's part of the way the human being is designed. And oh yeah, human beings designed AI. Okay, thank you so much. Who did that? Thank you. I want to acknowledge you. Hang on, guys. I just got a gift over here. Let me see. Who did? Was that Angie? No, that wasn't Angie. Jay, can you put up who just gifted me? I want to thank them. I want to thank you guys. Let's see who. I can't see it. So, oh, Adena. Hi, Adena. Thank you, Adena. Good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon. Hi. Thank you so much. Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you. So anyway, but this is the way you create things for yourself. This is one way. You can start online, you can start liking stuff, then it will keep showing the same things to you. You'll keep thinking about it. A belief is a thought you keep thinking. It goes into your subconscious. Your reticular activating system shows it to you in the real world. So be careful what you get distracted into. Okay? Because if it's bad stuff, okay, and you're going to know if it's bad stuff because it'll make you feel bad. Okay? The bad stuff that makes you feel bad will continue in the real world. Then what happens? Well, then you continue feeling bad. Who created that situation? Well, you did, but it wasn't all your fault. If you didn't know about it, right? If you didn't know that you keep liking, because we don't think about it. We're not consciously aware when we're scrolling, when we're liking stuff. We're not consciously aware that when the algorithms, whatever respective algorithm, when it starts to show us the same stuff over and over and over, we keep thinking about it. When we keep thinking about it, it becomes a belief in the subconscious. When that happens, we start seeing it in the real world. So if you're having a bad experience online, change it. Go look for good stuff and then start liking that. Okay, so what I did, I was consciously aware of this. So what I did was I was on Instagram and I went into the luxury niche genre, and I started liking luxury things. And then I started seeing luxury things, right? Which made me feel good. Guess what happened in the real world? I started seeing fashion in the real world. I went in the mall, like these fashion things used to pop out, luxury things. Okay. Same thing with money. If you look at money online, money starts showing up. Money starts showing up. Money starts showing up. So now, do you feel good when you see money, or do you feel bad when you see money? You should feel good when you see money. When you see somebody else with money, you should feel happy for them. But some people feel bad, right? Why do they feel bad? Because they don't have enough money. So they see somebody else with money, right? It's like, oh, They're like that, right? Oh, he has money. I don't have money. No, you have to be happy for that person that has money. Why? Because then money will come to you. Okay, why? Because you're happy about it. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about. Your vibration or your emotion has to be good when you're manifesting something. Well, let's say it another way. Okay, your emotion has to be good when you want to accomplish your goals. Okay, that's the bottom line. You have to feel good. Okay, when you feel good, you're going to attract other people, other like-minded people, because like attracts like. Now you're going to start attracting friends that feel good. Now you're going to start attracting situations that feel good. Now you're going to start feeling good where? Out here in the physical world. Is money going to be a part of that? Yeah, it's going to come. It might come in the way of maybe clients. It might come in the way of sales. It might come in the way of a side hustle. It might come in the way of a job offer. There's a plethora of ways that it can happen. So don't think that, oh man, there's no money. Like, okay, look at pictures of money. Look at videos of money. There's tons. Just hashtag money and go look at videos. Videos are the best because they make it seem real to the subconscious. And feel good about what you're watching. Feel good about that money you're watching. And it's not just money. You want a new car? Okay, go look at new cars. Hashtag new car or whatever. Hashtag Porsche. Whatever, doesn't matter. Okay? But energy flows where your focus goes. And where your focus goes, your reticular activating system goes. Why? Because it'll filter out things you're not focused on. Try it as an experiment. Focus on new cars. Focus on new cars for 14 days, for 2 weeks. Just look at new cars. Look at new cars, new cars, new cars. It'll start showing up in your physical world. Okay, it's not going to show up on your driveway. Nobody's going to deliver a new car for free or anything like that. That's a fantasy. That's not reality. But the opportunity for a new car will show up. One of my clients got a new car by registering at this dealership. It was a Toyota dealership. Dodge. It was a Dodge dealership. She registered for a new Dodge Caravan that they were giving away, and her ticket got pulled in a drawing. She got it for free. Can you get it for free? I don't know. But if there's a situation, right, because we don't know, all situations are different. All people are different. Everyone thinks differently. Everyone perceives differently. Okay, so when those things present themselves, okay, it's not going to be exactly like your neighbor. It's not going to be exactly like the other people you see online. It's not going to happen for you the exact same way it happens for another person, because you're a unique individual. Out of 8 billion people on the planet, you are the only one like you. You're the only one. So things happen for you your own special way. Okay? Don't feel inferior to anyone or anything. You are an individual. Okay? Don't feel less than. There's so many things that make you feel less than. Governments make you feel less than. Banks make you feel less than. Right? Okay, religion makes you feel less than. Okay, sometimes the spiritual community makes you feel less than. Why? Because everybody's happy, everybody's right? And then you have problems. Okay? Don't feel bad. It just requires a shift in mindset. That's all. And I'm here for you free every morning at 7 a.m. I'm here delivering good news. I have nothing to sell you. I'm not going to sell you a program. I'm not going to do any of that. If you want to be my client, there's an opportunity. I have a website. It's hereforyoulifecoaching.com in Honolulu, Hawaii. Okay? And I do give free consultations. So you can get a free consultation with me, and I can give you a plan and tell you exactly what to do. And if you follow that plan, you're good. So you don't even need money if you're going to see me for a consultation. Take the free consultation. You don't have to sign up. I'm not going to feel bad. I'm going to feel good because I was able to help you. So remember that you have your own life path. Your life path unfolds for you like this. Life happens for you. Life doesn't happen to you. Okay? Only victim mentality suggests that. Because if you think life is happening to you, then it's like, oh man, this happened and that happened. And it's like you have to dodge things in life, right? Life doesn't happen like that. You have beliefs in your subconscious. Those beliefs start creating situations for you. So if your beliefs are out of fear, if your beliefs are out of stress, if your beliefs come out of, duress or out of force or out of anything negative, then whatever you manifest in life or whatever, let's say whatever you achieve in life will be negative because like attracts like. If the beliefs in your subconscious are positive, people are giving, people are generous, people are kind, people are empathetic, guess what's going to happen? You're going to attract those kinds of people. You will attract kind people. You will attract people that are generous. You will attract people with good attitudes. Why? Because your beliefs are good and because like attracts like. It's that. Okay, it's all in here. God lives in here. Okay, God lives in you. If you think it's universe, if you call that universe, okay, universe lives in you. You are a universe and you have your own projection of reality. So nobody else is contingent, or let's say it this way, your success is not contingent on anyone else. You know how we have gatekeepers, right? You have gatekeepers in like a corporation. They're the guys that can promote you, okay? But just know that you don't need them in the way that you think you need them. Meditation, vocalization, visualization. Those are to cement the beliefs. Those are to bring in new beliefs, to change your beliefs. Don't change your beliefs if they're good. If they're already good, you're good. But you'll know because of the results that you're getting. If the results aren't good, if your results are not good, if you're getting things in your life, okay, you got to go like 66 days is the length. But after you go 2 weeks, it starts taking already. The majority of people, in 2 weeks, you start feeling a shift. My clients always feel a shift. And I asked them, so 2 weeks for my clients are 2 sessions. So we do. I had a psychiatrist as a client, right? Now his thing is the brain, right? He treats people. He's a professional. After the 4th session, I said, do you feel the shift? He says, I feel the shift, but I can't quite explain it. I can feel it, I just don't know what it is. And I'm like, well, of course he doesn't know what it is. He's been trained in science. Okay? What it is God. What it is source, if you want to call that infinite intelligence. It's all of that. I'm not here to tell you what to believe, or you should be a Christian, or you should be a Muslim, or you should be a Buddhist. I don't care. I'm here to do this many times. I had to do it for survival in some of the workplace environments I was in because it was very, very toxic, with very toxic people, very hateful people. Outside they were like nice and smiley and everything like that. But because the industries that I was involved in was very ego-driven, inside they weren't like that. Inside there were very dark individuals in there. There were very people in there that were just out for themselves. There were people that are very, I want to say mean, very vile people, okay? But in certain industries, like the entertainment industry attracts a lot of narcissism, like total narcissism, right? Because becoming a star or becoming radio, television, it's a breeding ground for narcissism. Just like, social media, same thing. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, right? I make those videos too. I do those things too. But there's a difference. Now, if you have empathy, you're not a narcissist. If you feel for people, you're not a narcissist. If you can put yourself in someone else's shoes, you're not a narcissist. So I know I'm not a narcissist. And I give a lot. You can have a plan. And if you follow the plan, you see, that's the thing. Like, anybody can give you a plan, right? But if you follow the plan, you'll get results. And if you put my name in any browser, you'll see my results. It's all there. Or put it in a. Okay. Now, like I said, there's two versions of it, right? Because if you ask, like, if my method is scientific or not, it'll say, no, it's not scientific. Why? Because I say God is real. Because in my mind, in my heart, God is real. And this energy belongs to the Holy Spirit. If you embrace it. If you don't embrace it, that means you don't acknowledge it. If you don't acknowledge it, it's the only sin that can't be forgiven in the Holy Bible. Okay, I don't know how you believe, and I just believe the way I do. But I'm just saying, okay, because that's the very most fundamental part of Christianity, that God lives in here, that the kingdom is within. Jesus Christ said the kingdom is within. So just know that you are the king or queen of your kingdom. Number one, there's your miracle. And you need to like what you see. You need to love what you see. You need to embrace what you see. You need to be happy with what you see. Don't let other people talk you into feeling less than. It's nonsense. Okay? Now, in my world, it's God first, then me and everybody else. It's always God first and then me and everybody else. Okay? That's just in my world. You choose what's in your world. Okay? But when you go in here, when you start in here, everything out here falls into place automatically. Okay, so Jay is telling me that, let's see. Oh, yeah, message me with your questions. I will answer all of your questions. I will also give you my email. It's junior@hereforyourlifecoaching.com. Be patient with me because I have tons and tons of people that are emailing me all the time, but I will get back to you. I got back to Kurt early this morning. Thank you, Kurt. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. We have to disconnect from our Streamlabs that